Happy New Year.
Greetings and salutations, Mr. 411. New season. Hey, as people are looking, we got new production studios and everything going through the motions. But yeah, happy New Year to you. I was telling you early in the production meeting, had to get a new haircut since we were making our debut show today. We were talking last week. I said, "Oh man, I gotta get my ducks in a row." Had to get all my daughter's going in her last year of college, so I had to get all of her taken care of. Had to order some stuff. Had to, she's getting an apartment now down up in the college. I had to get this insurance, but I
Whoa.
wanted to get all that out of the way so I could dedicate the time to the people for what is about to be another busy fantasy season for everybody.
That's right. Hey man, new haircut, man. You must have saw Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
I had to get it short, man, because when fantasy season comes along, the last thing I want to worry about is my hair. So I
Yeah.
get it nice and short for draft season. This is my draft haircut for everybody that wants to know.
All right. Yeah, and I got mine too. See.
Yeah.
All right. Keep it rolling there.
Hey, I ain't getting that. I ain't getting it like that now. I ain't,
You
like you
don't.
or LT.
Yeah. You don't want the Stone Cold Steve Austin look.
No,
Okay.
not quite. I got to get. Hey, because when I go out, my wife's gonna make me take her to the beach, and I don't have to worry about lathering up my hair and stuff. Hit my head with sunblock. I get sun protection from the hair.
Yeah. Okay.
I
That's a
got to
good
keep
look
a glow
though.
up there.
It's a good look, calculator.
Oh,
It's a
thank
good
you,
look.
sir.
All right, man. July 28th, 2025. Oh man, we back, man. 411 Sportsworld Fantasy Football Show. Man, this is the first episode for this season, man. We're gonna go through today. We're gonna tackle the top running backs. In general, we do a top 10, so we're gonna go into that. Calculator's gonna educate the listeners on give you some good pointers so that when you're making your decision in your draft day, you can you should be in a great position for your particular draft. We're going to cover different positions throughout this next several weeks here, but we start with the running backs today, uh, and then there's a trade that we're going to talk about. I mean,
But
what about fantasy football? I mean, you can't have fantasy football and don't talk about any type of trades.
I would say, well, we're talking about past trades of what may or may have not transpired. There is a story behind that. I don't, give you a little people a little teaser to what happened. But it was a live league. It was a money league. There was money online. There was lasting implications on the line that now it never went through, but there was negotiations. There was an offer and a rejection, and we'll go through the mindset of how what transpired with that. But again, that we'll definitely tackle that situation as we debate our top 10 for the running backs.
Yeah, very good, very good. All right, hey, we are on YouTube. We are under for 2025. We're under 411 Sports World Network on YouTube. 411 Sports World Network. If you type that in YouTube, you'll find us because nobody else has that. 411 Sports World Network. Type all that together. The digits 411, just like right there. All right.
That's right. That's
So if
right.
you do that, you'll find us there. We also on TikTok.
Right.
Yeah, and right there too. See
That's
that?
right.
Right there. All right. So do that for us, please. And make sure you share because sharing is caring. And
Yes,
make sure
sir.
you like and hit that notification bell on YouTube. We had to revamp YouTube. We're getting it back up and rolling. We almost had 100,000 views already
Oh yeah.
in just a short few months of the revamp. And then on TikTok, all right, we appreciate what y'all doing over there. Make sure you type in Mr. You got to spell it out. MisterFourOneone. Mr. 411.
Yeah, Mr.
That's,
411's big at TikTok with Peach County, man.
oh,
Those youngins at Peach County, they love Mr. 411.
hey, we appreciate them too. Can't wait for Friday too, man. It's almost
Oh,
time for
hey,
Friday.
man, I've already, my daughter's lining stuff up with me already. I told her though, I said, if you want me the fries to keep coming, I need that third burner. Two burners just aren't doing it. Ain't keeping the people satisfied.
Yeah.
So that's in the works, but we'll definitely be keeping our audience up to date on how that's going.
Yeah, let them know Mr. 411's gonna make an appearance. It's gonna be a surprise appearance, just like in those wrestling matches where they have a surprise
Oh,
return.
I love it.
Yeah, you're gonna see it. So Mr. 411's gonna go down there and sample some of those fries too.
That's
All
right.
right.
Hey, I,
All
I,
right.
I cook them. I cook them the best way I know how, man. Nice, crispy on the outside, nice and soft on the inside, but still warm. You can't have that cold inside, and that's the way apparently that's the majority of the way the people like them.
Yes, sir. All right. Hey, there you go. See, you learned something there about the calculator again. If you wasn't with us last season and you joined us this season, Calculator, man, he's a monster on those fries, man, at the local high school events. And so he's not only is he giving back to the fantasy football world, he's giving back to his local community,
Absolutely.
helping out there too. And so we salute Calculator for that. Hey, he's great at that, but something else that he's great at is fantasy football. This man has played in over like 10,000 leagues, and
And counting.
and counting, and going and going and going and going. And so he shares with us every year this about fantasy football and the ins and outs of it. So let's go ahead and dive into it, Calculator. I'll let you set the table here. We're talking top 10 running backs.
Oh yeah, hey, running backs. We always talk that is your meat and potatoes of your fantasy lineup. You do not win fantasy leagues without running backs contributing. So what we did is me and Mr. 41, we came up with our own list. We're going to share. As you can see, there's some differences. Hey, and last year, I'm going to talk about last year. Last year, folks, was an anomaly. And what I mean by that, it was more of the exception to the rule. And with that, along the lines of, I've never seen so many top-rated running backs not get hurt. Hey, that's great for the people that was the old school, draft your stud running backs early, like Mr. 411 did, and ride the wave. But it was terrible for the people that played the zero running back game and grab all these backups thinking there was going to be an injury, because there were hardly any injuries. All your top backs was Bijan, healthy throughout the season. The only guy that was hurt was the guy that was picked first overall in Christian McCaffrey. So all the zero running back bros that did get Jordan Mason were rewarded for that. But no, it was just Derrick Henry stayed healthy throughout. Barkley, first time in his career that I can remember not missing one or two games. Almost set the record. Could have set the records, if he'd played that last game of the year. But Devon Achane played most of the games. Jahmyr Gibbs, every game, and it was just Josh Jacobs again, who's not normally injured, stayed healthy the whole time. And not only that, Josh Jacobs was the benefactor of all of his backups getting hurt in practice, so he had probably the heaviest workload of his career, which is could be a kind of thing that's why Josh Jacobs hadn't gotten too far in me and Mr. 401's rankings, is because, hey, I'm worried about the load. They got to take some of the workload off of them, because they saw they are going to go as far as Jordan Love will take them. You can run the ball out of the into the ground, but if you don't have an adequate passing game, and they showed that in the draft when they drafted one of their first picks with a receiver, one of those high guys that can take the roof off going down the field. So that, I think that's going to hurt in. I think Josh Jacobs is, and another thing about Josh Jacobs that me and Mr. 41 were about, his lack of catches. He's just not a factory. He is Derrick Henry without the touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And that is I think he set career high in touchdowns last year as well. Again, due to the workload. So that's he's definitely a top 10 receiver because he's on a good offense. He's a good team. They are going to score a number. I just don't think he's going to be as productive as he was last year. But as you can see in our rankings, we'll just break it down one by one. Bijan Robinson, the consensus number one running back on the board. Not just me, not just Mr. 401. X's consensus ranking has him out there. Bijan is number one. I've been watching hundreds of drafts so far this year. Bijan is the first running back to go off the board in 90% of money leagues. I'm not watching these free mock drafts. I watch money leagues because that is what we play in. Me and Ms. Foreman, we put our money in. So we want to know. We don't want people going out there mock drafts and just wasting their pick on a kicker in the third round because they're trying to be funny. I want people with skin in the games, and that's what I do most of my research on. So, yeah, Bijan Robinson, number one. This is where me and Mr. Foreman have a little bit disagreement. Mr. 41, you have Jahmyr Gibbs number two. Can you explain why he is number two on your ranking after all these great running backs?
Well, one thing about Gibbs, man, when he's on, man, he's a joy to have on your team. I can say that from experience, right? Yeah. When he's on and popping, I mean, it doesn't get no better, man. He's electric on the field, in the run game and the pass game, playing indoors in Detroit. Now, they did switch coordinators, but I'm not really worried about that because a smart coordinator is going to use his best talent. Mm-hmm. He's going to utilize the best talent that he has on the roster. So the reason why I'm going with him like that, because I just have a feeling here that he's a young guy for one, and having young running backs, that's a good thing to have when you play fantasy sports, because that burst, that energy, everything that they haven't been beat up as much as other backs. So I kind of go with that. Now I will say this, something that this, but something that's concerned me with him is Montgomery, right?
Yes.
Montgomery's always
That's my second main concern
yeah.
with Gibbs.
He's always been that bugaboo, right?
Yeah.
And I get frustrated, man, but then Gibbs will turn around and have a monster game, and I say, okay, I'm good with it. So you have to be able to handle that roller coaster ride with Gibbs. And hey, if Montgomery gets injured,
oh yeah, well
he really gonna take off.
He showed that every time Montgomery has gotten injured, Gibbs has scored over 20 fantasy points per game when he is the bell cow.
Yeah.
But so for one, this is my main concern with Gibbs, and the reason, as you can see, he's all the way down.
Yeah, I see that. I think we have a gap here.
Yeah, and reason. Well, first of all, I think again they're in the Montgomery's going to eat in the workload, but his all-world center, probably the best center in the league after Jason Kelsey retired. This guy was the best center in the league for Detroit Lions. He retired, so you lose the probably the best center you've had in your career. Their offensive, I think it was their left guard. He went out, and he's now playing for Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So those two departures of what was the number one rated run blocking offensive line, both of those run graders are gone. Now, granted, they still have their two all-world tackles, and that's where Gibbs does thrive, out on the corners and stuff like that. But still, another thing that he could take was those little pop screens he'd get. He'd take it up the middle because he had great blocking inside. I think those are going to be taken away. And I think what defenses are going to just say, okay, we're not going to be scared of your middle run game, so they're going to play the outsides. And I think they're going to be able to game plan more against Gibbs. And you mentioned it about the offensive coordinator. You say, he could be a smart guy, but we don't know. This is
he better be.
Yeah, he better. That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's the unknown. So that's the change in offensive coordinator. Because one thing we knew about the old offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, very creative in play calling. That's why I think
he's the head coach.
DeAndre Swift, believe it or not, he's in my top 20 this year because I really like the offensive environment in Chicago. We said that on the NFL show. We did our rankings. I have Chicago actually winning that division this year just because I like all the and I love Ben Johnson with the creativity. So the unknown factor, the offensive coordinator, the two departures of the offensive lineman, and David Montgomery. Those three reasons. Hey, Gibbs, great talent, but I'll say, first of all, Christian McCaffrey. Yes, I think he's over his injury. That's why he's number 2 on my ranking. Mm-hmm. Saquon Barkley, but yeah, still top 3 offensive line in Philadelphia. Yes, they lost Beckworth to San Diego with the Chargers, and but they plug and replace in that with that system. Devon Achane, I got him. I love Devon Achane this year just because of his volume of catches, and there's really nobody to challenge him. They don't have a David Montgomery on the Miami Dolphins. And, did I mention the defense for Detroit is probably going to be better? Not many shootouts. They're not going to need those dump-off passes in the fourth quarter when they were in shootouts time and time again because the defense is going to keep them in games. Miami's defense is no such thing. There's going to be so much garbage, dump-offs to Devon Achane. I'm loving it. And Ashton Genty, we profiled him on the draft show. He is, first of all, bell cow. Game script is not going to be an issue for Alshon Gently, and Pete Carroll loves to run the ball. And when you have Geno Smith in there, Geno Smith don't mind handing off the ball. So
and I wouldn't mind that either if I was the Raiders.
Yeah. So and like I said, Ashton, I like the only non-bell cow bell cow running back on here that isn't a bell cow is Devon Achane. But again, he just makes it up in the receiving department that I just love his things. Derrick Henry. The reason he's behind Gibbs, of course, receiving, not good at receiver. Jonathan Taylor doesn't get the ball through the air. Josh Jacobs doesn't get so you see a pattern. Now you see that somebody on my list isn't on yours list, Mr. 411, is Chase Brown. Chase Brown has all the elements. If everything, when Zach Moss went out, He was, and you want to talk about shootouts. Cincinnati is going to have to be in shootout after shootout, and that's why we'll talk about on the receiver. Why Jamar Chase has been pretty much the consensus number one overall pick in every draft I've been looking at. So yeah, but Chase Brown is going to be the beneficiary of those shootouts, and that's why he's made. So is there a reason Chase Brown didn't make your list? You just like Bucky Irvin a little bit more?
Yeah, that's why he didn't make my list because I lean
We
more
only have
towards.
10 spots for our top 10, right?
Yeah, right. And I leaned into Bucky Irvin because of how I saw him ascending last season, and his explosiveness. Now he's not a great pass catching, right?
Yep.
He's not a great
And
pass
they
catching
go
back.
3 deep in Tampa Bay. They have a 3-headed monster.
Yeah, but the way he was exploding last year, and I just think Tampa, if they want to go further this year, I think they need to really utilize Bucky. I think he'll get a lot of those touches near the end zone.
Yes.
So it's either going to be Bucky or it's going to be Evans. One of those two going to score the touchdown. So that was my tie break there. Now you're right, Cincinnati explosive offense. I mean, they got enough receivers to feed the whole NFL. They got a quarterback that's going to throw it all over the place.
Yeah.
So Brown is going to be a great back for somebody. So if you're in the draft and you like, man, I missed out on all the big names.
Yeah.
Man, you mess around and end up with a Chris Brown on your team, and everybody's going to be coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to want to get him off your roster. So I think that's going to be one of those surprises of the draft is who ends up with Chris Brown.
So Brown.
Chase Brown. I'm sorry, I keep saying Chris Brown because I think about that singer.
Yeah, because you can remember it because a lot of people are doing the Jamar Chase and Chase Brown combos.
Yeah, and that's nice. You know what I'm saying? So
connection.
And they got Chase. Chase and Chase. So, but yeah, they're gonna have something there. So I wouldn't be, if I end up with Chase Brown, I'm going to be okay with that.
Yeah. Hey, well, see, and another reason I like Chase Brown just over Bucky Irvin head to head is because the discount. You're going to have to pay up in the second round if you want Bucky Irvin because that's where he's normally going. Chase Brown, and even though I have him ranked higher, a lot of times you can get him at the beginning of the third round. Like I said, I see a lot of people in that number one hole. They get Jamar Chase, and then they whip around and get like a Ladd McConkey. And then they hit with their first pick of the third round, Chase Brown. Because they'll go receiver, and then hit their hero running back with Chase Brown. And I think, and I just like they really like they didn't, invest in the draft. They felt comfortable. Now Zach Moss is coming back, but hey, he had the same type of Peyton Manning type neck injury, which is kind of serious, especially if you're a running back. So that's why I think Chase Brown is going to get all that and then some. And I just like getting, hitting that. I like hitting a, possibly a receiver early on, my first and second round pick, and then if I can anchor with a Chase Brown. Now, don't be cute. Because I know that people that listen to this show, now Chase Brown is going up in their rankings, Mr. 411.
We already know that.
In the fourth round in some of these home leagues. Now he just jumped in the third round with one show, because we remind everybody what he is. But no, Bucky Irvin is going higher. But my personal rankings, I got to be honest, is now, don't get me wrong. I love Bucky Irvin. He's my number 11 running back.
Yeah.
I just like Chase Brown a little bit more because of the reception, because of the shootout potential, because of lack of competition. Because Bucky Irvin, he's not going to be out there in 2-minute drills. That's going to be Rashad White because how good he catches. And whenever he needs a blow, Burke will come in there. So that Sean Tucker will go in there. So that's why I think I just like Chase Brown because like I said, lack of competition, shootout potential, and that's why he's my top 10.
So what if one would say calculator? What about the receivers in Cincinnati getting their receptions? Would that limit Chase Brown's TDs? What do you think about that?
I think there'll be enough to come around. You know why, Mr. 4-1? Because he showed last year, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins were still eating, and Chase Brown was still getting his. So that's that. There is no concern because there is going to be enough to go around. They're going to need it because it's going to have to be 40 points, to win pretty much every weekend with them. And also, one drag that had pushed Bucky Irvin down as well is we got to monitor their all-world left tackle Wirfs. He got injured in minicamp that had to get surgery. So they said he is actually going to miss all of training camp. Now, if he's in there week 1, not a problem. But there is hey, we said that about McCaffrey. Oh, he's going to be there week 1, and then it just drugs. And next thing you know, you don't see him until week 9. But yeah, Bucky Irvin cannot afford worse to be out. Probably one of the best run blocking tackles in the league. So that's another question mark. Hey, Bucky Irvin's got all the thing. I just can't pay the second round price tag for a Bucky Irvin.
All right. Well, we're definitely gonna see. I mean, we got a lot. Obviously, we had a lot of names in the same in similar spots. Talk about. Well, you already did, but let's forget that. I was going to ask you about McCaffrey, but you already said you feel good about his injury.
I feel good, and I feel good about their season schedule. They got one of the easiest running back season schedules on the league. So if he's healthy, and we know Shanahan, if he gets his running back, if you are out there, you're going to get the carries. Oh, and goal line vulture Debo Samuel is now going to be vulturing Jaden Daniel touchdowns over in DC, and not McCaffrey. So McCaffrey could get even more goal line carries. And touchdowns.
Well, look, just last season he was everybody's number one. I mean, I would think just last season. So it's an injury thing. So if you're concerned about him coming back from injury, then that's your choice. But otherwise, talent wise, you're getting a top back. So now, but here's the thing I had calculated. We talked about Robinson, and it seems like he's just this overall consistent one. What has changed now? I know he was on the rise, and a lot of people, that was the in vogue type pick to make. And, but now this season is looking like the consensus is he is the guy. Why is he the guy?
Well, because if you look at what happened last year near the end of the year, the Falcons said, hey, he's our guy. Algier, they stopped putting that joker in on the top end large. So Bijan Robinson was getting goal line carries. He was getting more passes, and their offensive line has gotten better. And Penix, a lot of people like Penix. What's the best way to protect a young quarterback? A running back that can catch those little short passes, a running back that can keep defensive honest. So they're talking about Bijan Robinson's snap count going up. So when you get a guy what he did last year, increase his percentage of plays, and again, the defense is still unknown. Yeah, we know the Falcons. If you watch our draft show, go and watch our draft show, folks, because we talked a lot about the Falcons, how they try to beef up that defense. That's still a question mark. So, and when they're going to be playing and what that could be shootouts in there, you need the best playmaker on the field. And he's still young. And he didn't have, because of Algier. So he doesn't have a lot of miles on his tires, so to speak, because of the Algier effect for those first 2 years. So I think, and this will make a break for the Falcons. They got a short window, and they're going to have to use Bijan Robinson to ride it. So that's why if I have the number 2 pick, Bijan Robinson. Well, actually, I'm going to go on record, and I'll say right now, Mr. Foreman, if I get the number 1 pick, I'm going Bijan over Jamar Chase, just because. Hey, don't get me wrong, I love Jamar Chase, but I like I am a hero running back type of guy. I like to get my one running back, and then I can load up on receivers. So that's why if my first pick, no matter where I'm at, if Bijan Robinson is on the board, I'm picking him. And Brooks, I'm calling Brooks to show out when he's in the auction league. We are going to go at it, Mr. 411. He ain't getting them for free. I can tell you that.
Calculate, you read my mind, man. You read my mind because, in the 411 Sportsworld draft, and by the way, if anybody wants to join that draft, make sure you send us a comment that you want to be in the league. We'll get you in the league. There's a couple of slots that, there's at least 2 slots I think that will be open. So if you want to join our league,
not for long, Mr. 411.
You got to jump in quick. Jump in quick if you want to get one of those slots. But man, imagine what's going to happen when Robinson's name is placed on the board in the auction.
Mr. 411, I'm nominating him first because I want to see how much money Brooks is going to spend on him.
Hey, somebody's going to spend all their money on Robinson on their first pick, and then they're just going to watch the rest of the draft.
Hey, I better stop talking to Mr. 411. Brooks might pull a little okey doke on me, and then I'm left with the bag because I guarantee you I'm gonna be in that bin process for my man.
Oh man, I got a feeling there's a couple other fantasy owners in that league that's going to be. They're ready to throw that cash, so that's going to be a great pick. I can't wait to watch that one unfold. All right, I'm going to be a part of it too. Just let y'all know, I'm going to be a part of that. I don't know how far, but I'm going to be here.
And I'll tell you right now, yeah, I'm a Saints fan, but hey, when it comes to fantasy football, I have no loyalties. Right, what I'm saying. So I'm gonna pick the best player I thought. And last year, though, Bijan Robinson let me down. And what I mean by that is, I'm in multiple leagues. So there's a league I commissioned. It was a brutal loss. I lost by under a point, and Bijan could not get the touchdown. Didn't have. I don't think he even had that many catches that game. But he had over 100 yards, so it's hard to be mad at a guy. But I just needed that one special catch, that one time, and I lost by less than a yard. So I went on the message board. I didn't go on the message board. I went in the trade, and I offered. It's a keeper league. So
Oh,
we're allowed to keep one player for next year. So yeah, I'm set with Bijan, right, for my keeper. Well, I was so mad. I saw Jamar Gibbs, who was going off in the fantasy playoffs, if people remember, and I offered straight up. There was no strings attached, no trading of draft picks, no extra fab given. This was at the end of the year after me and this guy were eliminated from playoffs. I had all my rage in me, and I said, "You got to do it now." Or I'll think too much and pull it back. I offered him on the Yahoo. I offered him Bijan Robinson for Jameer Gibbs, straight up, no strings attached. Mr. 4-1, he turned me down.
whoa.
The man turned me down. And as you can see by our rankings, I guess he didn't want to take advantage of me in my emotional state because I was suffering from a loss that was just brutal, just the way it happened. So I want to thank Captain Cosmo. I put the name of the team out there that had Jameer Gibbs and turned me out. I want to thank him because let me tell you now, I had no idea 2 offensive linemen were leaving. I had no idea the offensive coordinator was going to leave. I had no idea that David Montgomery was coming back, So there was a lot of things. Oh, and oh yeah, their schedule got a lot tougher this year too. So yeah, I'm just and just look at strength of schedule. I mean, Falcons, they're in the NFC South. Carolina twice. Tampa Bay's defense is not what it used to be, and my beloved Saints are getting older by the day on their defensive side. So they have a nice conference to run in. They play indoor games quite a few times, which just helps somebody that like Bijan Robinson playing on that artificial turf. So yeah. I want to thank him for declining that trade because I think I'd be regretting it right now if he would. Now I would have said I learned my lesson not to do any trades while everybody's in your emotions. Let the offseason come through because now I'm really glad to have Bijan as my keeper.
Okay, yeah, keeper league. So you're able hey, sometimes the best deals are the ones that don't go through.
Yep.
All right. Okay, well there it is. But look, man, there's a lot of backs that I think going to have an effect this year. And before we get out of the overall back conversation, let's go back, if we will, since we're talking backs. Let's go back to Barkley. Barkley had a monster season last year. Do you think he's gonna? I know based on the rankings, we got him high, but do you think?
Yeah, he's number 3. I mean,
do you think he's gonna repeat what he did last season, or do you think he's gonna drop a little bit?
Well, now, Mr. 4-1, if I thought he was going to repeat, he'd be number 1 on my list.
Okay.
so that, and I think you're the same way. Although you were the resident Barkley owner, I'm surprised. But yeah, and I think that me and you both don't think it's possible to repeat. And what I mean by that is Philadelphia's schedule is going to be much harder this year. They have a much tougher draw on their AFC conference, out of conference opponents. But I just don't think they're going to run as much. It was just a perfect storm where he was doing so good that they kept running the ball. But folks, remember what happened in those last 2 games, the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl? They hardly ever ran the ball. I mean, they were not efficient at all. They were throwing, and they were throwing often. And I think they're going to have to get back to that because I just don't think they. And if you're going to be smart, you're going to want a healthy Barkley. That's why they sat him in the last week of the season last year. It's just keep him fresh. So I think his work. I mean, he had so many touches last year. That's another thing that scares me. You always talk about touch history as a good indicator of getting all these nagging injuries. But Saquon Barkley's never been a bill of health. This was, like I said, if I'm not remember in my memory, the first time he's been healthy for a whole season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think the wear and tear is going to catch up to him. And even if it doesn't catch up to him, that means they're using him less and less. And I think I really think Philadelphia is going to lean more on the passing game this year. And again, how many offensive linemen can you lose? They lost Kelsey last year. and they lost Beckworth, their all-world guard, this up year. So that could catch up with them as well. Granted, they have, again, when we talk about tackles, probably the top overall tackle in Lane Johnson. He is still there. However, people remember he got nicked up last year and he missed. They had to give him some rest to rest him up for the playoffs. Although Barkley still did good those first two games of the playoffs. It was just that championship and Super Bowl that he kind of tailed off. But yeah, it's not like we're writing him off. We still number 3. I just don't think he's going to have not only the amount of touches that he had last year. I don't think he's going to be as efficient as he went. I mean, a lot of people watch it. A lot of he was breaking off those 60-yard runs in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So I remember a Washington game, that one game, 2 long touchdowns in the fourth quarter that saved the day. So yeah, I love Barkley, but again, I workload reduction and overall wear and tear, I think is going to be his downfall from not being a top pick. So again, and if I'm on the clock and all 3 of those guys are on the board, I'm picking Bijan Robinson ahead of Saquon. I'm picking Christian McCaffrey ahead of Saquon.
So basically, right there, that's your tiers right there, people. So if you're talking about your elite tier ones, I think they're in there. But once you get inside that tier, the tiebreaker right now looks like it goes to Robinson this season. So if you're in that dilemma, you got the information. You can lean towards Robinson and feel good about it. Hey, whoever ends up with Barkley, I know you're not going to be upset.
Oh, no, you're not going to be upset about it. I mean, I'm not going to be upset about it. If like I said, if he's on, but see, a lot of times, and I'm looking at all the drafts, Christian McCaffrey is going after Saquon Barkley in a lot of drafts. So that's why I don't think I'll have a lot of shares of Barkley just because of my rankings. Just because, again, if I'm on the clock, I'm picking McCaffrey. So I'll have more McCaffrey shares than Barkley shares. Because McCaffrey, he's going anywhere. He's going around the turn, the ninth through the 12th and early second round. Now, again, if I'm in a draft, he's not getting past the first round because I like Christian McCaffrey that much. But yeah, that's why, just because of my rankings, I got to stay true to my rankings. That's why we make rankings, so that we know who we're going to pick when we're on the clock. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to have a lot of Barkley shares. But if somehow, hey, in auction league, if Christian McCaffrey goes for a lot more than I think he's budgeted for, I might Barkley. Or if Barkley gets nominated and he's going to get a price, that's when I might get my Barkley shares. But a straight up serpentine draft, Barkley will probably not make it on the calculator's team.
Yes, sir. All right. Are there any backs? If anybody ends up with Derrick Henry, are there any backs that's on that roster that would concern you with Derrick Henry?
I've been hearing a lot of Keaton Mitchell's talk. Remember, he was that explosive guy, Keaton Mitchell. I don't see it because that guy's never stayed healthy. He's had 2 big runs, and then everybody loves him. The guy that you can get, and these are for like 0 running back builds, also for best ball type lineups, where and for people that aren't familiar with best ball is where you don't set a lineup, you just pick a bunch of players and whoever scores the highest makes your lineup. The computer does it automatically. But Justice Hill, and the reason I say Justice Hill is because he's the pass catcher. Yeah, Lamar Jackson likes having a pass catcher. Justice Hill has been in the system long. Now Derrick Henry gets hurt, Justice Hill's still going to be Justice Hill. Justice Hill isn't going to be your workhorse back that gets all the Derrick Henry runs. That'll be Keaton Mitchell. But no, but Justice Hill is a guy that I like for 0 running back builds because he has a role, and every now you're on a bye week, you're in a pinch, you can start him in there and most likely get you to 10 to 12 points as a floor, and then possibly a 20 point if he hits one of those long touchdowns.
Okay, very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, football is among us right now, man. July 31st. I mean, 3 days from now, you're gonna get some live
football action. How about that, folks? That's how this calendar sets up. You got football in July. I never thought I would have seen it, Mr. 411.
It's July, man. Like this is, hey, man. It's just like I don't want to say this, but just like over the years, remember people kept saying about the environment and the ozone layer and, don't litter and over the years and things like that. It's a gradual thing, right? It's just like in geography, like all the continents were all together at one point, millions and millions and millions of years ago. And just like this with NFL, man, it's the season is gradually getting longer, man. We actually
Yeah.
have a game in July, man, and in about 5 years we're gonna have a preseason game like July 15th.
But
You know
now,
what I'm saying?
yeah, now, Mr. 41 is because Labor Day is an early Labor Day this year. Remember last year it was a late Labor Day, so they back. But when you flip that switch and you have that early Labor Day, the NFL has to move up accordingly because they always got to start that weekend after Labor Day.
Man, look, it's gonna be crazy. I'm telling you, man. One day we're gonna be doing this show. It's gonna be June
No,
15th.
I don't get carried. Hey, they'll push it back before they push it up that far, man.
We'll be in our second preseason game. But yeah, man. So get ready for football. Hey, it's here. So you can get a quick look at a couple guys for their or look at the guys deeper on the roster because hey, in fantasy football, you never know who you're gonna need to pick up.
Mhm. Oh, and before we get into our mock draft, Mr. 411, because it is mock draft Monday for people that are new to the show, we love to do mock drafts. I do want to do this advice. If you want running backs, you're going to have to go back to the old school approach. You're going to have to draft them early because once you hit that Kamara, James Conner cliff,
Oh yeah.
it goes down quick. So if you want to get your running backs, if you want now you can still do the zero running back, but I'm telling you, all those people that did the Marshawn Lloyds, Trey Bensons of the world last year, guys, it was no bueno. They weren't playing just because those guys didn't get hurt, or the Kenneth Gainwells of the world, they didn't get in there because Barkley didn't get hurt. Oh man, Gainwell was getting steamed up right before the end of the year. I remember, so that same thing might happen this year with Will Shipley, which is Barkley's backup at this point. But yeah, so just a rule of thought: if you want a running back, you want one of those bell cows, you got to get your bell cows are gone after the second round in a lot of drafts. Your Jonathan Taylors and so forth. You might get a Chase Brown leaking, but after this show, Mr. 4-1, his draft stock probably just went through the roof. Don't take my word for it. Hey, don't take my word for it. I'm seeing it. I saw it in the beginning of July. He was at the end of the third round, and I just watched an FPPC $1,900 main draft bit. Chase Brown 301.
Oh wow!
So he got steam from 309 to 301 in the span of a week. So yeah, but hey, as soon as and one more thing before we get to the draft, there is some news. All you Joe Mixon lovers, I'm sorry. Word is his season debut is in jeopardy. He has suffered a foot injury, a nagging foot injury, and for some reason he didn't. I don't know why he didn't have surgery over, but it's cropping up. He's not even participating in training camp. He's reported training camp. But folks, Joe Mixon, the only reason you like Joe Mixon is his availability. He wasn't efficient, but he was always out there getting his touches. But folks, he's not out there now. So Mixon, I saw him drop with the news of this foot injuries. Literally, again, I watched at the beginning of June. He's dropped. He's all the way into the seventh round. Seventh round, I might even have a share of Joe Mixon here and there in the seventh round because that's, because it's still early in the preseason. But folks, that's why I don't draft until August because I want more and more information, because late August, and I actually have 2 drafts after Labor Day, so just because I like to get as much information as possible. But that current is, folks, keep an eye on Joe Mixon and we'll keep you updated as you continue to watching the show. Even when we go over wide receivers, if I hear any news on Joe Mixon, whether it's good or bad, we'll relay it on the show.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, you talking about getting off on the wrong foot, man? Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, it's time, calculator.
Yes, sir. So right here, I'm going, and what I'm doing is, folks, we do our PPR. So this is 1 full point per reception. We have the 1 quarterback. This is kind of basically like the only thing I don't have, Mr. 4-1, is I don't have the points per carry. And the reason I did that is because we're trying, most people don't do that. Most people don't do I like it personally because you got to reward those bell cow running backs. It pushes the Jonathan Taylors, pushes the Derrick Henrys up the board, which seem to be valuable. But for purposes of the masses, we're just going to drop it and just do full PPR without the points per carry. So that is the one change. And what I'm doing is I'm drafting against composite ADP, and the reason is I want to do as if you're going into a home league with people with a blend of people with magazines, and you're going to have people that are up on it year long. So, hey, I got two guys in my keeper draft. Captain Cosmo, he's not one of them, but he can name the two people in my draft that come with magazines
Oh,
trying
wow.
to do their draft. So they're very noticeable. So that's why I do composite ADP. I'm basically drafting against what ADP has been over the last 2 weeks. They multiply it, so we're going against average draft position. But yeah, so that I'm doing a little bit, on there, and that's it. So we're going to be drafting from the 9 spot this year. So remember what we said, Mr. 41. My strategy is I'm going to, with one of my first 2 picks, we're going running back. Okay, so me and you will alternate picks. Are you good with that, or do you just want me to do all the picks? It's up to you.
Oh no, you go ahead, man. This episode.
Okay. Okay, so I just, folks, that I just going to say that's my strategy. I'm going probably here now. You can have a strategy going into a draft, folks, but you still got to go with what the board gives you. Like I said, I could say I want running back, but if all these running backs go in like the first 7 picks, I'll just drop the next best receiver. So you got to go. But hey, I'm telling you right now, folks, if McCaffrey is there, I said it before and I'll say it again. McCaffrey will be my first pick if he's available at 9, because I know Saquon Barkley won't be there, and I know Bijan Robinson won't be there. So but don't take my word for it. Let's start the draft and see what falls to me at number 9.
All right, here we go.
Yep, Bijan's off. Whoa, McCaffrey went off the board, folks. Okay,
Wow.
So. All right, folks. This is where it gets interesting.
Oh, it started like that already.
One of my running backs but remember, we got to do. Oh man, McCaffrey got sniped, man. Like 2 picks before me. Okay, folks. This is where I'm going to take a chance. We know I like Devon Achane. I'm going to play the game. I like Devon Achane and Ashton Genty. I think. I'm gonna play, but see, Derrick Henry's there too, folks.
Yeah.
So I got one of my 3 top 5 those running backs, Jonathan Taylor. I know he'll fall to me, but I think Genty, I think Achane will fall to me. So with that, I'm gonna get my top wide receiver. Now, Neighbors is up there. Love that, but I really like Amon St. Brown. I like the indoors. I like the, hey, everybody talks about Gibbs. Well, we talk about could be hard running up the middle. What's not going to be hard is pass protecting the outside, because those all world tackles. I'm going to go Amon. I like a safety blanket, and I think Amon's kind of like a safety blanket in the late first round. So give me some Amon. Genty, Henry. Oh my God! Every single running back that I thought would fall to me. Oh my goodness,
man! This is a tough group, man, that you're drafting against right here.
Oh man. But I gotta get so see, folks, this is where you go back to your rankings, right? I need running back, but look, my rankings: Barkley, Achane, Genty, Gibbs, Henry, Jonathan Taylor's my next guy, and I gotta go with it. So I don't got, man, Brian Thomas. That is very interesting. I'm gonna go with Jonathan Taylor, just because I got to go with my rankings. Even though I like Chase Brown and I know he won't fall to me, I want the bell cow. I'm gonna get Jonathan Taylor. And hey, that could be surprising with Daniel Jones at quarterback. Bucky Irvin's off, James Cook's off. Man, running back. See, they see how fast running back come off the board, and that's why I had to go with running back, even though Brian Thomas was very tempting. But see, all these, I love Garrett Wilson in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think he will he make it back to me? Let me see. Kamara. Every person that drafted behind me has one running back. I don't think a lot of them will go 2. I really like Alvin Kamara, but even if Alvin Kamara doesn't come to me, I like James Conner. Hey, I like Omarion Hampton right now. He's been steaming up boards with the Najee Harris injury. So I'm gonna just get run. No, because I like all these wide receivers. No, I'm gonna get Garrett Wilson. I like Garrett Wilson enough to where I'll just draft him. Yeah, his target load is going to be out of this world. They're going to throw it to Lazard. Devontae Adams is out of town, so yeah, they got to give it to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, they give it to him.
Hey, and like I said, just like I thought Kamara fell to me, he, not a bad guy to have as your number 2 running back in the
Yeah,
fourth round.
yeah.
They're gonna. That one thing the Saints are gonna do, they're gonna run the ball as much as they can. They just drafted another good tackle out of Texas, who's a great run blocker. The offensive line's improved. All that can mean is they got to protect that rookie quarterback Slaw. And gonna put Kamara. So I think, hey, I'm now who? Well, I'm gonna pass this. You're a Seattle
Yes.
fan. Do you like Kenneth Walker? Homerism aside, and I'm a Saints fan, so I just want to make sure it's not my homer. Who do you like between Alvin Kamara and Kenneth Walker III if you're on the clock?
Oh my gosh, I like Kamara.
Okay. Yeah.
If I'm on the clock, this juncture, I like Kamara.
Thank you.
Passing game for one,
Yeah.
right? And then I mean, you set your clock to it. There's going to be a moment there. It's going to be a segment of the season where Walker's going to not be available.
And you know what, Mr. 4-1, we could set this up as possibly drafting Charbonnet later on in the draft in case, like you said, the inevitable Walker injury. So this is like a 2 win-win situation. We're going to get Kamara, and we're going to set it up for possibly a Charbonnet pick later on in the draft. So, yeah, let's pick Kamara right here.
Sorry about that, Walker. I had to say that, Walker.
And that's what I appreciate. I want people in there. All right, so we're in the 5th round. Let's see what quarterbacks on the board. We don't have a quarterback. Hey, man, I'm telling you, this year, if I don't get the Josh Allen, if I don't get the Jackson, and if I don't get the Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels, if I don't get one of those 4, I'm waiting on quarterback. Because look at those. I like Caleb Williams. I like Brock Purdy. Heck, I like Dak Prescott now that Pickens is in town. So I like a lot of these late running quarterbacks. So I'm going to let them slide. But, hey, I love Jalen Waddle. Everybody knows my love for Jalen Waddle. I love Zay Flowers. I would say I love Chris Olave, but, man, hey, he did show up in camp with that concussion helmet, Mr. 411. So I did like that he's taking it seriously. But one hit, he's out, and I can't just spend a 5th-round pick on that yet. Let's see what tight ends. Hey, some interesting tight ends are on the board. Hawkinson has been going a lot. But you know what? I kind of like Evan Ingram the same as Hawkinson. So I can wait a little bit because I think Ingram can fall to me. So let me – we'll go – well, let's see running backs. Oh, I told you I like DeAndre Swift. I think DeAndre Swift will come back to me. So I'm going to go wide receiver, and I'm going to get Jay. I'm going to load up on these things. So I'm going to go with my man, Jalen Waddle. And look at those. Just wide receivers went off the board, and that's why
they were flying off the shelves.
Yeah, they were. So, and see, Chris Olave. See, my other, I like McMillan a lot, but hey, we already got our guy. Chris Olave is the tier break, but I got my 3 wide receivers, right? And look, both tight ends are still on the board. That concerns me. I got to get TJ Hawkinson because I know he won't come back to me. And I think once Hawkinson goes off the board, it's a long time before I pick again. So that's why I'm going to go with tight end at this juncture, is because I don't think Hawkinson or Ingram will fall to me. So I'm going to get Hawkinson, right now and play it safe. And look at that. Now the quarterbacks are flying off the board, man. But you know what? Hey, I still got Purdy. I still got Williams. Drake May. I like Drake May this year. They said they like what they're saying with him in New England. So I'm going to hold off on quarterback one more round. Hopefully, I really do want Purdy or Goff to fall to me. Goff will fall to me, so I'm not worried about that. But I kind of want Purdy. So right now, let's back it. Let's see what the running back. Hey, Tony Pollard. Hey, Isaiah Pacheco. Remember him, folks? He was drafted in the first 3 rounds last year. So that's something to think about. But I'm going to go with Tony Pollard just because I might. I don't have to start him. But if Cam Ward is serviceable, Titans could be decent this year. I'm going to draft Tony Pollard and hope Brock Purdy falls to me. Hey, Brock Purdy falls. He's there. So I'm not gonna play the wait game any longer because there are some people that for some despicable reason they'll get 2 quarterbacks this early in the draft. I'll never understand it. So hey, I'm gonna get the guy. Hey, I couldn't get McCaffrey. I was sniped. Not making apologies. I'll at least get. Hey, if McCaffrey catches some touchdowns, they'll be coming from Brock Purdy. I'll get Purdy now and play it that way. So now look at all those back. So now, folks, this is where we could get into, you know, kind of depth, the wide receiver position. Hey, this is how I'm going to play the Downs Pittman Jr. Deal. I'm gonna let one. I'm gonna pick the one that isn't picked first because they're identical in my rankings. But I'm gonna pick them. I'm not gonna be the first one to pick. I'm gonna pick next because I think one of them would fall to me. So right now you got the Najee Harris, and this is where I'm gonna go with your man Charbonnet. This was what we're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
not going to take chances. Hey, and we don't have to start him, right, Mr. 411?
No, that's your lottery ticket.
Yeah, that's my lottery ticket. You always want lottery tickets at certain pockets in the draft. So let's pick Charbonnet right here and see if the plan comes through. Oh, Pittman and Downs went off the board. So, and the thing, you know what's bad, Mr. 401? The team that picked the person picked Downs and Pittman. They played the roulette. I was like, oh my God, who would have thought that? But you know what? That's all right. Look at all those receivers that are still there. And you know what? I'm going to play a game where I kind of like Rashid Shaheed this year. He's healthy. The new rookie quarterback is a guy with a cannon for an arm. So I'm going to get Rashid Shaheed. Well, nope. I'm going to take that back. Time out, Mr. 41. I see a big tier break at tight end. And the reason I say that is
Joku?
There is, yeah. We got a good tight end, but a lot of unknowns in Minnesota. So let's get a David Njoku as kind of like a guy that we know he's not coming back to us. So we'll double up on the tight end. I'm not a fan of that. Now, if you get a McBride, if you get a Brock Bowers, and we'll talk about that on tight end episodes, you don't need the two. You get your stud. You're going to spend that. If you spend a lot of draft capital in your tight end, don't worry about backing them up. But Njoku show he can be a tight end one at times. So we're going to get him because I think Shaheed could fall to us. So let's do Njoku and double and get tight end. And look, we got to steal with Njoku because Njoku's normally going in the 80s and we got him in the 112s. So, and look at this. We got Eckler. Big fan of Ray Davis this year. I'm not going to draft him right now. We'll see. Anytime you get a thing and you want to see how your team's doing, well, let's look at our team. We got Purdy. I think we're good in running backs right now, and we know we're great at. Well, we're kind of weak at receiver, so that's where. And Rashid did not fall to us. I like Bateman. Not in love with Bateman. I like Cedric Tillman, not in love with Tillman, but you know what? I'm going to get Tillman for his upside in Cleveland. You never know. They could get in the shootouts. We showed when he was healthy, Jameis Winston loved him. He showed he could get open. So let's go with Tillman. And you know what? I'm actually going to double tap. I'm probably going to get Cedric Tillman, and I'm eyeing Quentin Johnson in the 12th round. So let's see if we can get because it's a pretty quick turnaround, but we definitely need to build up the receiver room. And look at those receivers flying off the board. And so again, let's look at our team. And the reason, actually the running backs are the value on the boards right now, but I'm feeling really good about my running back room with Kamara and Taylor, Tony Pollard and Zach Charbonnet. But hey, if Quentin Johnson, you think I can probably push. There's a 5%. I think he might be. So let's look at our running back. I said I like Ray Davis. Let's go for Ray Davis. No. Isaac Guerrero is still on the board. If McCaffrey goes down.
Well, we had last season, right? We had that happened with McCaffrey, and the backup came in and took up some monster numbers. Was that Mason last year?
Jordan Mason, got him a contract with Minnesota. So even though I love Ray Davis, I like Isaac Guerrero. Another lottery ticket. Hey, like Zach Charbonnet, we'll put him on our bench. And hey, you never know. Hey, the football season's a long season. Somebody getting mixed up. Isaac Guerendo's your man. See, I'm still looking for my wide. Hey, everybody's going wide receiver and running back. That's why I wanted to see Quentin Johnson did fall to us. But again, I could push it a little bit further. Let me see. Quentin Johnson will fall to us. There's Wandale, McMillan. A lot of those will go ahead of him. Purdy. Oh, Drake May. I'm going to get Drake May. Get a back. Good. I told you a couple rounds ago I liked him. Let's get a good, solid backup quarterback. And see Quentin Johnson fell to us.
And something calculated that just crossed my mind, like with your second quarterback, with the second running back, we want to make sure that these guys don't have the same bye week, right?
Yes, and that's a good point because let me see, it's not pulling down. See, Drake May had a week 14. Oh, well, they had the same bye week, but again, that's week 14. That's way down the
Way
road.
down the line, yeah.
Yeah. So now, if they have early bye weeks, you got to separate. But down the line, the week 14, hey, that's almost playoff time.
Right.
So yes, and trust me, if you're playing the quarterback game, you're probably streaming at this point. So what I might do is see who I like between Drake May and Brock Purdy by week 10. I might drop the one I don't like and then fill that week 14. But yes, good point, folks. If you're playing the tight ends, you're playing the double tight end. See my tight ends, that was a good pick because Hawkinson has an early bye week in 6. So now we got Njoku, who's a bye 9. So we're covering that.
That works out great.
But I didn't worry about it quarterback because of the late bye week. Now, the thing is trying to get me to draft defenses. I don't draft defenses early on. I like to stream defenses. I like to get my name of the game is depth, especially like I said. I like Quentin Johnson this late. We talk about these lottery tickets. Let's get Quentin Johnson and bring him to the team. And then my last pick, the best defense on the board. Hey, you like the Rams. I mean, Minnesota is the pick by the computer, but I really like what the Rams did on their defense. Nah, I'll go with that. Minnesota, they love to blitz. They're solid against the run. So we'll go with Minnesota. See, and you get a good defense with your last pick. Never pick a kicker, folks. I always never pick a kicker. What I do is, I get a kicker from a good, right. Probably before 10 minutes before the draft starts. If I have one of those guys, like if Quentin Johnson had a rough thing, or if one of my Cedric Tillman's I'm not liking what happened to him, then I can just drop him and pick up my kicker. So that's why I usually never draft a kicker unless I have to. But yeah, that's the draft. So quick review from the 9 spot. St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, and Jaden Waddle as my wide receivers. Jonathan Taylor, Kamara, Pollard, Zach Charbonnet, Isaac Rindo, lottery tickets there. Hey, TJ Hawkinson, David Njoku, 2 solid tight ends. Brock Purdy and Drake May. Yes, the quarterback roulette. I'll play matchup until week 10. Cut the one I don't like. Maybe they have cut him for whatever quarterback's out there on the waiver wire that has a nice week 14 matchup. If they're both doing good, hey, you never know. There could be a trade market out there. I don't know. It depends. But see, the good thing at Brock Purdy, you got your passing running back. Drake May, you got a running quarterback. So you got to have a good blend of both. And then I love the depth at with Tillman and Quentin Johnson, just to see those are my guys. I'll fill in and out depending on how they're doing when I start streaming different positions. So, but I like how it went. It just goes to show you, even though I said going to the draft, I'm getting Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
Come to me. Hey, folks, I told you, you got to do what you can be set on one thing, but you got to do. And folks, I didn't plan this out. I did this live.
It's real time.
So that, I want to give you what you could come in. Do not get a strategy, but be able to pivot if needed. So that's what I did. When my guys, my top guys aren't there, with Christian McCaffrey going off the board, I'll say, hey, I'll just get my security blanket receiver and then hit my next running back. And of course, Devon Achane didn't. I thought Devon Achane would fall to me in the second round, and he did. Man, that guy, he sniped me. Cobra sniped me. He did the Henry Achane, and then he did that Josh Downs, Michael Pittman later on in the draft. Man, Cobra was sniping me. It's like he was reading my mind, Mr. 411. But hey, that's the game we play. And I didn't panic with Devon Achane gone, I said, hey, I just went true to my rankings. I did get a running back, and Jonathan Taylor, he's one of those oldie but goodies. Hey, I remember when 3 years ago, Mr. 4-1, he was the number one pick overall in fantasy. So he's pretty decent from what I hear.
Yep, pretty good. And this is the beauty of the mock draft. Like it puts yourself in these situations, and that's why we do this because you're going to join your draft, and somebody's going to make a selection that's going to blow your mind, whether it's way off the wall or it's one of those picks that you had maybe under your a little trick you had under your bag and somebody snatched it. So this is what prepares you for the unknown and get you in situations. So you got to be able to change on the fly. It's just like getting in the ring, right? You get in the ring with a boxer, and you and a boxer get in the ring. They got a plan, then they get hit.
Yeah, they say you can have the best plan, best strategy until you get hit in the mouth.
Right,
and then it changes.
So you get hit the kidneys or something, and now you got to figure out what's next. You know what I'm saying? Look at Rocky.
Oh man.
That man got beat up so bad, but he found a way to get through it, and that's what we did today. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. 4-1, I just want to point out something. Remember, I talk about kickers. Notice I look at all the kickers, and there's still good kickers out there. There's still that Ravens kicker. They drafted a kicker drafted a kicker. So for a high scoring team, you could pick that kicker out of the Ravens.
Yeah.
So there's always good. The San Francisco kicker is out there still. So there's so many good possible other plays you can do in the kicking game. But we'll go over more on that when we do our defense kicker episode.
Calculate, there's 32 kickers. Most leagues are 12, so there's going to be room there to play with. And out of those 20, somebody's going to pretty much give you top 10 numbers. So
absolutely.
So you don't have to really worry about the kicker part.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hey, man, look at that draft. Look at that screen there. Great job on the mock draft and everything else that we covered today. Episode today, one was about the running backs. Yep. I hope you enjoyed that, and we look forward to you joining us next week.
What's next week, Mr. 4-1? Wide receivers, isn't it?
Oh yeah, wide receiver. We already know who's number one.
we already know who's number one. So now, but I look forward to talking over that with you tomorrow as well, because it's nice to feed knowledge off of each other. To see opinions. Because believe it or not, you kind of I was trying to bring you over to the Henry side last year, and I was looking at our rankings last year, and you weren't too high on Henry, but all of a sudden you drafted him. So I'm pretty sure that running back episode, I try and give some knowledge to you, and you use that knowledge against me as well, because I was too busy putting my money to Breece Hall and letting me down.
Hey, you know what? You got to watch the show, people.
Gotta watch the show.
You learn something. All right. Well, Calculator, we appreciate it. We'll do it again.
Absolutely. And everybody, y'all have a good night.
All right. We thank everybody. Have a good one. We'll catch you next time.
Catch you next time.